our liberty. Your billion-dollar corporate endeavor will put our people in debt forever. Outside corporations ruling our land. You're selling us out to foreign hands. No, we don't want no TPP. We want to keep our liberty. Kia ora koutou. I like what the last person said. It's about action. We don't have time to wait for an election. We need to mobilise now. We need to make this the biggest mobilisation in the history of this country. Down the road at the museum at the moment is an exhibition about protests that have taken place since the 1960s. Protest by women for liberation, protest about the Springboks tour, about Raglan, all of those things that happened before some people in this audience were born. But out of those actions came change. Some of those, what we actually gained out of that, some of those gains we have lost, because we lost them through political action. In 1984 was a massive change in this country. We put in the Labour government, and immediately the assets started to be sold. And we've carried on that trend, but it's not a new thing. This type of strategy is a worldwide global takeover. It was planned way back in the 1930s. 1937, there was something in the New York Times about dividing the world up into 10 regions. They've got the global regions sorted. We're one of them. We're just ripe for the plucking. We've got the resources they want to take control. So this is a global effort, and the only way to actually match it is to actually rise up as citizens. The civil society are the majority in the world. The 1% of the wealthy. We are the majority, and we can make a stand and make a difference. So I'm up for it. Anything that we want to do, we need to actually do it now. We don't have time to wait. In the media, what I'm disappointed about, I'm glad to see that there's photographers and everything here today, but that only happens when there is an action. In between these times, there needs to be some investigative journalism out there talking about the issues that are relevant to New Zealand. We have 300,000 people in poverty, children, people who don't have enough to eat, people who are being housed every day. We have small businesses that create the money in this country being sold down the drain. We've just got Huttons closed. We've got all those guys with no jobs because they've moved elsewhere. So, you know, those sorts of things need to be front page news instead of worrying about next month's April royalty visit. You know, we're paying money into that sort of stuff. This is really important, and, you know, I mean, hands up people who support TPP. Hands up people who don't know about TPP. Hey, we need to actually get out there, though, to make this happen. We need to engender some faith in the powerless. There are people who don't have internet. There are people who don't have homes. These are the people who are the masses that we need to put faith back in about what we're standing up for. They need to be part of this, because it is through actually waking up the powerless that we will get change. We can't do this on our own, all the educated intellectuals, people who have actually had chances. We actually need the masses. And this is one of the most important take I can think of this century, to hold on to the country that actually has a treaty of Waitangi that enshrined rights for everybody, not just me. So think about that, people. Yeah, and I guess I better stop there, because I'm sure there are others that want to say something. But in terms of mana, we're really clear. No to TPP, and we will join the Greens or anyone else. I'm a bit disappointed in some of our Labour MPs. Those ministers, you Labour people need to start forcing those ministers to make a clear statement that they actually oppose this. Kia ora koutou.